welcome to the next episode of the Scoreboard, number 3 at this point. We skipped last week because of the developing news that was still going on in the NBA free agency, which is going to be a main topic in this show. And I'm glad we did that because the consensus last Wednesday was like, oh yeah, we were texting, okay, yeah, Kawhi is going to go to the Lakers. We're not going to talk about it yet because he hasn't signed, and there's a couple other names. Baloney. Kawhi didn't go to the Lakers. He went to the LA Clippers. The way I wanted it to happen, the way you, from the looks of it, did not want it to happen. Smokey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, but that really broke my heart.
Why did it break you? How come you're a Lakers homie?
And I've never really been a Lakers fan, man. I saw something magical was about to happen. And,
is that a pun? Is that like a bad pun?
Magic Johnson.
I
almost said Kyrie Irving. Irving Johnson, when he's in the business role.
Yeah. So you thought something magical was gonna happen, but come on. Isn't the Lakers roster like magical enough at this point? You got LeBron, you got AD. That's 2 top 5 players. You got JaVale McGee back. You got Kyle Kuzma retained. You got a pretty good roster, and should I mention Boogie Cousins coming from Golden State to LA also?
Yeah, that's a question. Do you think he's going to start, or are they going to bring him off the bench?
I'm pretty sure he's going to start if he's going to be healthy. He's too good not to. I know they're going to convert LeBron to being a full-time point guard now because they can just afford to do that. And he's shown back in Cleveland, actually, in the 2018 finals. He played point guard for the most part against the Warriors, and he did a pretty good job of it. Throughout that entire playoff, actually, he did that for a while. Of course, it's not his native position, but he's so good that he can definitely do it, and that's one of their weakest positions, and that's the way they're going to optimize having the best 5 on the floor for the most time. I think Cousins is gonna, if he's not gonna start, he's gonna find a lot of rotation, but I think he will. I really don't see a justification for leaving him out. And you notice how they're also basically recreating the Pelicans from like 5 years ago?
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. So,
what do you think about Kuzma? What's gonna be his role here?
I think Kuzma's actually going to be a pretty important piece. Now, when the trade went down, that's one of the notes that I definitely had. Kyle Kuzma stays in LA, and that's bigger than both Ingram and Lonzo Ball potentially staying in LA. They were both sent to New Orleans, of course. I think Kyle Kuzma is the best player out of those 3, and I think he's going to see considerable minutes because if you're the Lakers, let's be real. We're in championship mode. We're not going to burn through 40 minutes for LeBron and AD every single game because we really don't have to. Kyle Kuzma is going to see good minutes, and you need that depth. We know that your starting 5 is going to be one of the best in the league, but how's your depth looking? How's your guards looking? So I think Kyle Kuzma is a very important retention, and he's gonna play a big role if that team's gonna go for the distance.
I agree. They're still top contenders. Of course, the Clippers have thrown their name in the hat now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With the addition of Kawhi Leonard, Finals MVP, and I've heard a lot of negative feedback, a lot of negative emotion towards Kawhi Leonard for kind of agreeing to the Lakers, but then going somewhere else. I don't really understand all that people being so upset about it. I know that people like to see dynasties and domination and super teams, and just an all-star team in one franchise. But doesn't this make a lot more sense from, first of all, not the Lakers, but the Clippers' point of view, and also Kawhi's in a way?
Yeah, well, I will agree that this is probably best for the NBA in general, at least for the Western Division. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to play the Shannon Sharp and get all butthurt about it. But,
I have not watched Undisputed since that happened. I haven't gotten around to do it, but I got to rewatch all of that. I can only imagine.
Yeah, I mean, of course, he's still in the I'm never wrong mode, so
yeah, for sure.
He's trying to play it off, but you can tell he's pretty distraught about it.
If I was talking to Skip Bayless on a daily basis, I'd get the impression that I'm never wrong also pretty quickly.
Exactly.
but that's a whole other thing. So the Lakers are still gonna be good. Don't get me wrong. They don't need Kawhi. I think Kawhi is going to make a name for himself way more with the Clippers than the Lakers. Because I mentioned this last time, you came off your best performance. Finals MVP. Beat the Warriors. You carried a city, a nation to an NBA championship. You are looking at yourself. You got to be looking at yourself as a top 5 player. I'm that guy now. I'm on the same level as LeBron, as Kevin Durant. You got to be looking at yourself like that if you're Kawhi.
Oh, I'm
so
sure.
What do? You go.
No, go ahead.
You go join LeBron, and you go join AD, potentially playing the third role in a stacked roster. Are you really gonna go the way that Kevin Durant did it, and even worse than that, because that will be even more oppressive than the Warriors super team used to be? Or do you go across city and challenge LeBron face to face, saying, I'm here, I'm that guy, I'm that next guy, I'm taking the city over. And I'm that guy that people go ahead and go want to join. I'm not the one joining a superstar. Paul George is coming to join me. Patrick Beverly staying in with the Clippers to play with me. So I think this is going to be a lot better for Kawhi, for his brand, because he's going to get into that phase where he's going to, want the most out of his personality. He's going to build his cult of personality. He want them shoe sales, the movie roles in the future, because we mentioned this. He's not going to play forever. He's injury prone. We know that. And he's trying to make a name for himself and be the face of a franchise. And with the Lakers, that would not have happened. And with the Clippers, he has a good chance to do that.
Now, I will say, he had a better chance at load management if he would have went to the Lakers.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably not so much with the Clippers.
For sure. The Clippers are now a playoff team, a contender team. We're going to talk about the Western Conference. And in my opinion, the 3 competitive teams, all from California, by the way. And you know exactly who I mean. In that conference. Oh, yeah. And we'll get to that. But listen, I like this decision a lot, and people are unhappy with him because he didn't make his decision minute 1 of the free agency. That's how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to have some time to visit with teams to make your decision. Everyone was expecting him. These days people are expected to sign day 1, minute 1. And Kawhi just did what he was supposed to do, the way that's supposed to be designed to work. For him to use free agency and to test the market, and people are upset with that for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, kind of understandable, but I do see the other side, that he did what was best for him, and if he wants to be that number 1 superstar, he made the right move, of course. I mean, it is kind of hard if you were in the shadow of LeBron, because if the Lakers win with Kawhi, he's not going to get the recognition of being.
Oh. He's LeBron's guy. He's his helper.
He's going to be.
He's Kyrie at best, and there's Anthony Davis too.
Yes, exactly.
So if he joins the Lakers and the Lakers go win a championship, who's gonna point at Kawhi and say that guy's the reason? That guy's the centerpiece. No one, right? Yeah. And that's what happened at Toronto, and I think he liked that.
Yeah, at best, if the Lakers would have won with Kawhi, he would have been the tipping point. They're like, well, he was the guy that added to the roster that tipped them over the edge. But
yeah, he was there. Yeah.
If he gets his 3rd ring with the Clippers, though, he's the man.
He was a 3rd superstar, and the Clippers combines the best of both worlds. There, comparing Toronto and Lakers. He's the center guy. He's the face of the franchise, like he was in Toronto. The team's gonna revolve around him. Plus, he's getting an extra superstar in Paul George to join him. He's got a better team around him, arguably. And obviously, you're not in the middle of nowhere, quote unquote, Canada. You're where you want to be. You're in LA, which was that's let's be honest. That's the main pulling point for the Lakers. That's where the Lakers are historically great. That's where the Lakers are prime choices for star players, aging star players.
Yeah.
LeBron James doesn't want to go to the Utah Jazz. We know that. We just know how it works. It's LA. So I think he's in the prime spot. I think he made the perfect decision for himself. Can't wait to see what he's gonna do. Of course, I have a grudge because he beat my Warriors, but he beat them fair and square. They were the better team, and the Warriors were just way too injured to do anything about it. So the Raptors obviously are a loser of this whole thing, giving up Kawhi Leonard and with him any hope of repeating. Well, and I think... Okay, keep going.
Well, I was gonna get a little off topic, but I was gonna say at any point when the news broke that he was having the emergency meeting with the Raptors, did you not think at that moment like, well, he's probably going back to the Raptors now?
No, I don't think so. I think the Raptors did everything, like everything, to make his decision the most difficult possible. But the Raptors are not a team with the same amount of pull as a California-based, LA-based team. That's just how it is.
Of course.
And they did everything. The whole Keep Kawhi in Canada initiative, with all the restaurants offering free meals. They might as well have declared him president or honorable king or whatever of Canada.
Yeah.
They did everything. They threw everything at him. They couldn't have done any more. And I don't think at this point, I don't think the consideration to really stay with the Raptors was there for a long part. I think he realized after this season that I can be the guy, and I want to be the guy. I'm going to act like the guy, and I'm going to join a team where I can really be the guy on the biggest stage, not the second biggest stage.
Yes, I agree with you fully. Yeah, and like I said, for the NBA, he made the right decision.
Right, yeah, exactly. Let's transition into that. Specifically, the Western Conference in total for the NBA, and for the sake of the NBA, he made a very important decision there, because now we realistically have three teams in the Western Conference, in my opinion, who can go ahead and win the finals. And I believe that the West has pretty good chances at winning the finals. Obviously, it has for a while now. And of course, I'm talking about the two LA teams and the Warriors.
Yeah.
Obviously, it seemed to be the strongest roster. The Rockets didn't change much from last year, but last year's Rockets weren't good enough, so I have no reason to believe that it will be this time. So, what's kind of your early picks there? Where you ranking those three?
Wow, it's almost a log jam right there at the top. If I had to make the decision, I'm still putting the Lakers at number 1, and Clippers 2, Warriors 3.
Okay, so a point that concerns me about each of the teams for sure. With the Lakers, it seems very artificial. You threw a bunch of stuff together. Now I know there's plan there. You got the two biggest names, probably the best duo, and your matchup against Golden State should be fantastic because you've got all the size. And Golden State, don't have one thing, they don't have size.
No.
The Warriors are going to score 160 a game next year. I don't have a doubt. You look at Steph Curry, D'Angelo Russell, and Klay Thompson. That's insanity.
Yeah.
But they don't have a big man. They got Kevon Looney, who's been injured more than anything else, and Andrew Bogut is good off the bench. But that's it. Yeah. Draymond Green isn't a big man. That since Kevin Durant's gone. Boogie Cousins is gone. They're two best big men, and Looney is a good player. And Iguodala gone. So that's gonna be an issue. I think we'll see a lot of high scoring games, both on their offense, but also they're gonna have a lot of points scored on their defense. I like Steve Kerr as being the best of the three coaches. Lakers have a good matchup in terms of size and beating the Warriors at the basket was a big factor of the Raptors championship run. If you notice that, because you just had the taller players and you blocked a lot of shots. So that's something that's definitely going to be a factor there. Now, for the Clippers, everything's new. Your two-star players just came into town, and they're going to figure out how to play with each other. And of course, you got a lot of momentum going your way. You retain Patrick Beverly. You got a good team going on. But are you going to do it all on your first year? I don't think so. I think you're going to need a year or two to get it clicking, potentially get a third huge name or a fourth name into the mix to really compete with those other two. To me, the Western Finals next year is going to be Lakers and Warriors. And it's going to be a tough pick. It's going to be high scoring. But I think if you got LeBron and AD at peak performance, I think the Lakers have a good shot.
Well, people are already penciling in the Clippers to be the finals champion.
I mean, I don't hate it. I can definitely see why. The hype is real, and the hype in basketball is important.
Yeah.
As much as it's not in a lot of other sports, in basketball, the hype's important. In football, people don't even want the hype. People don't want to participate on Hard Knocks. People want to keep to themselves. and practice by themselves. In basketball, hype is a lot because it's a very visual sport. So, I mean, definitely great development, and they're going to be a great competitive team. I'm not seeing it this season, but, I mean, Kawhi's welcome to prove me wrong. He's done it before.
Yeah. You know, I still have some nostalgia, love for Rajon Rondo. I think mainly because of his run with the Celtics back in the day. Mm-hmm. But he may not be that big a part of their championship run, but I still like that they kept Rajon. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, sure. They need pieces. They need extra pieces. Being too top heavy, you know what that's going to look like when people get injured. That's what happened to the Warriors last season. All of a sudden, Kevin Durant's hurt, Klay Thompson's hurt, Iguodala, Kevon Looney are going at 70%. So it's because it's the only stars who weren't hurt throughout any time of the playoffs were Steph Curry and Draymond Green. And they were playing with a below average NBA roster. Of course, you got guys like Sean Livingston and Cook, who are good players, but they're just not the same caliber. They're rotational guys, which is fine, but the depth wasn't there. Now, the injury bug was extreme, obviously, but it definitely goes to show the importance. What if LeBron goes down? Say some unlikely scenario, either LeBron or AD go down. Torn ACL, they're out for the season.
Ooh.
Where the Lakers at?
Probably the same as this year, middle of the pack.
Yeah. Or Kawhi goes down. Where the Clippers at?
Yeah, same as this year.
and that kind of I still think that the Warriors in that scenario have the best chances to make up for an injury like that, unless it's to all their centers, basically. Of as much as you don't want it, if Klay Thompson's not going to play for the most part, he's going to return for the playoffs, which is presumably all that they're going to need him to do. You still have basically your Splash Brothers intact. You got D'Angelo Russell and Steph Curry, who are going to be fantastic. So I think you have the most depth still in Golden State, but the most high end potential in both the LA teams. And if they can stay healthy, they can manage to make it happen, get their minutes in during the playoffs, and not be forced to do that too much during the regular season, which, you've mentioned the whole load management situation, then they do have a good shot.
Now, let's talk about OKC. What a dumpster fire, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've never been a huge fan of the organization in general, but I feel like the last 7 to 5 years, the only big headline that the Thunder has ever made is, this and this star player is leaving.
Yeah,
that's all it's been so far.
Tell me this: what is your opinion? Why does no one want to play with Russell Westbrook? In your opinion?
Because Russell Westbrook is a one-on-one basketball player.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook cares, honestly, and I believe this, Russell Westbrook cares more about his triple-double ratio than he cares about winning championships.
Yes, he does.
It's not a coincidence. People are declining opportunities to play with him. They're walking away from him in like year 1, year 2 of their relationship. He's not a team guy. He just isn't. And people who want to win, they're not going to join a team like that. They don't want to play with him. And we've seen for the level that he can play at, and I don't doubt how great he is. He's a fantastic basketball player. Yeah. He's just not a fantastic basketball winner. Not a franchise guy in that sense. Show off for sure. Dunking contest every single time. Yeah. He can join the Harlem Globetrotters when he's done. But
yeah, that's a good.
For championships.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, well, guy's much more fun to watch than to actually have on their team, for sure. Now, did you expect Paul George to leave? Because I didn't, man. He just re-signed last season, right?
Well, yeah, but you got Kawhi, you got the Clippers ringing your bell, and we just we just talked about, right? So what's your better opportunity there?
Yeah.
I like the decision, and it makes sense. You want to win some games, and you want to make a deep run. The Finals MVP just showed up, and he probably called you, be like, "Let's do this together. Let's join the Clippers. Let's make something happen. We can do that." That's how it works. People like stars recruit other stars. It's no coincidence. LeBron James, AD, KD, and Kyrie Irving.
I'm torn on who to blame it on more. Is it Kawhi Leonard's fault or is it Russell Westbrook's fault?
I think it's just a convenient situation, like a mix-up of both.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a very hard pick at all. Considering you're interested in winning at all, do you take Kawhi and the Clippers and the team that's like with the massive momentum upwards, or are you gonna stay with Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple Double, but I'm not gonna get you to the playoffs? I think so. So, wise decision. That's how those star teams are formed all the time. But I think that's the most important parts here. So we both kind of have the very, very clear-cut 3 teams to dominate the Western Conference. If we want to, at some point, maybe next week, in the upcoming weeks, we can take a look at the East because we don't want to neglect that too much. But for now, let's get into what we do best, which is football.
Yes, sir.
And this topic is proposed by... Guess who? It's Smokey. It's proposed by you. Now you like to talk with, and no offense, you like to talk about Matt Ryan.
I do, man. I love Matt Ryan.
And you like to talk about Atlanta sports.
He's not only my city's face of my city, of course, but he gets underrated so much, and it kind of hurts my feelings that people really...
He won an MVP.
Exactly. I mean, people don't...
That's underrated?
He is. I mean, in the media, in the sports media, he's definitely.
But is he really?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, maybe it's just my bias that points me towards seeing all the negativity, man. But I think he's much better than he gets credit for.
I think there is some valid criticism there, but we're gonna do this very subjectively. We're gonna judge, and we're introducing what we call the Matt Ryan line. Sounds like a dubious concept, but you remember the Andy Dalton line?
Yeah.
Which has shifted from basically middle of the pack to bottom of the barrel over the last couple of years, with quarterbacks just becoming so much stronger. The Matt Ryan line, very simple. You can start a franchise. We're going through every starting quarterback in the NFL right now. Who do you pick over Matt Ryan, and who do you pick Matt Ryan over? So... should I just read names and we'll give our judgment, or you want to present your list? How do you want to do this?
Well, I have a list of names. I didn't go through every single one, and even future stars. I have a couple on.
Okay, so give me like the 3 people you'd pick over Matt Ryan.
That I would pick over Matt Ryan?
Yeah.
Andrew Luck.
All right.
And see, I didn't really think about this because I'm like, I'm not the Matt Ryan hater here, but definitely Andrew Luck, and.
Come on. Well, I mean, yes, that's the correct answer.
Here's the deal, man, because when you're starting a franchise, you're looking at Matt Ryan definitely has a 5-year contract left in him, right?
Yeah, you're looking at age and ability.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're going to start a franchise, you want the guy that's going to at least be there for your 5-year contract for him.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at. And, I would say Phillip Rivers or Drew Brees, but these guys are not going to fulfill another. I mean, okay, I looked it up. Drew Brees is 40 right now. He's definitely, he only has 1 more year left on that 2-year contract that he signed last year. Now, Phillip Rivers, he's 37. And with the Tom Brady example, he's probably going to play at least 5 years more. So
yeah, he's got 5 in it.
I'll put Phillip Rivers on there, but to me they are really close. They're comparable.
So Luck and Phillip Rivers.
And you wanted 3.
No, give me how many you got. Like how many you would take.
Man, see, I'm really torn on whether I would put Ben Roethlisberger on that list. Because is Ben really that good? This day, I know he's been phenomenal throughout his career. But right now in time...
That's some really weird names, man. I have Ben on the under. I take Matt Ryan over Ben.
Really? Well, see,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like these new kids. There's new kids I got on here, in which I want to throw this list out at you, and we can go rapid fire if you want, just to get
Sure.
all these names out here. But I don't think any of these names I have on here I would pick over Matt Ryan.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, tough one for sure. I have him under Matt Ryan.
Okay. Jared Goff.
Over.
Derek Carr.
Under, very slightly.
Very slightly. You
Yeah.
kidding me?
The guy was on his way to an MVP season, and he's carrying the worst pile of trash in the NFL right now. If you play for the Raiders, you look bad. Worse than you are.
I already know your answer for this one, but I'm gonna throw it out so you can expound upon this. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Over.
All right, give me the points of why he's over. Before we go.
Should I first of all? Let's do that. Well, first of all, Jimmy Garoppolo is like what? Like how much younger? Close to 8 years or something.
Yeah.
He's getting into the prime of his career, which Matt Ryan is not. Matt Ryan is on the decline. He's hit his peak. He's going down. Jimmy Garoppolo is one of the young guys with really high floor. Now I like to high ceiling. Sorry, I like to value age a lot because I'm starting my franchise and I'm looking at not just 2 years, not just 5. Maybe I'm looking at 10 years a little bit. And if there's a guy who can give me 10 years. And right now, like pretty much right now, Matt Ryan at his best game versus Garoppolo at his best game, the difference isn't that huge. It's really not. So,
now,
of course, we haven't seen as much of Garoppolo. It's a higher risk. It's a higher risk, higher reward pick, as it is with guys like Jared Goff. Or other names that I also have on this list, some of which are much higher of a risk even than Matt Ryan.
Yes.
Now, if I had to play one game right now, one football game, which is not the premise, by the way, I'd pick Matt Ryan in the top 10, probably.
Okay.
But to start a franchise, no. I'll take Garoppolo. I'll take Goff. I'll also take Russell Wilson. I think that's the name you didn't mention at all when you picked your overs, but that seems like a very obvious choice. He's probably a top 5 quarterback in the league.
Now, I was contemplating putting him over there. I mean, he does have a few years on, or he's a few years younger than Matt Ryan. But see, I wasn't thinking 10 years either. Excuse me. I was thinking, who's going to get my franchise started and give me that 5-year contract. That was, that's how I was evaluating it. But let's go. Let's go.
Give
to
me
the
some more
next
names.
one. Sam Darnold.
Over. Yeah, over. I'll take Sam Darnold in the top 10 starting a franchise right now. This is kind of my high risk pick, but I really like Sam Darnold.
Oh, I know you do.
I think I believe in this guy. I'm still holding stock. I think the Jets have they have the superstar lineup. It's to me, Sam Darnold. I might take him over Jimmy Garoppolo. I might take him over Jared Goff now.
Over
That's how much I believe in Sam Darnold.
All right, well, it's going to get harder right here. And we'll start with one that I think I know, Josh Rosen. And don't make me mad when you say this.
Okay, then hold your ears, because I got Josh Rosen over.
No,
I got Josh Rosen over Matt Ryan.
No.
Listen, we're talking about over 10 years age difference.
Yeah,
and
of course, but
Josh Rosen coming out of college, UCLA, who was everyone comparing him to?
Sam Darnold.
Matt Ryan.
Oh, you're talking about his pro
comparisons. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, he's Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
And he is a lot of Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
He's 1 year into the league, Matt Ryan. Not sure if he'll ever reach that level, Matt Ryan. But there's a good chance that he has the potential. Well, he does have the potential to do it. People just have to get it out of him. He has to be in the right system. But then he'll be at least Matt Ryan for 15 years, where, Matt Ryan will be 80% of Matt Ryan for like 5 years.
Now I have a really good Matt Ryan comp coming up, but I'm going to save it for the end because I think this is the kicker. Let's go to Drew Lock.
I didn't even write down Drew Lock because it's tough to judge rookies. With rookies, I'm going to just say lower. I actually also have Kyler Murray lower. I evaluated Joe Flacco for the Broncos, who, by the way, I'm not taking over Matt Ryan.
Oh, God, I would hope not. That's his arch nemesis right there.
Yeah, that would be insanity. But Drew Lock, I like. Give me one season. If I knew that Matt Ryan is on the down right now to start my franchise, I'll like Drew Lock. Rookies, it's tough, though, because you don't want to start a rookie day one, and having a veteran presence might be more valuable there. Right. Allowing you to go for that next guy in a couple of years. If we're...
Oh, sorry.
Keep going.
I do have a couple more rookies on here.
All right.
Dwayne Haskins.
Also didn't write him down, but under. Basically under for all the rookies.
Oh, okay. Daniel Jones.
Because I don't want to start the rookie. Yeah. I evaluated Eli Manning, who I'm taking as under, and for the Redskins I picked Case Keenum, who I'm also taking under Matt Ryan.
Well, then my kicker of this whole thing, I already know what you're going to say now because you're not for the rookies over Matt Ryan, but this is a college player who is compared to Matt Ryan a lot, and I see it every game I watch from him, but Jake Fromm.
All right. That is a good comparison. I give you that one. I'll take the under. He's a college guy. Mm-hmm. Listen, take some snaps in the NFL, will you at least, or show enough for me to have the faith in you. No rookie in this year's class did it. Jake Fromm so far hasn't. Listen, if you said Tua or Trevor Lawrence, I might start thinking.
Now, Trevor Lawrence, I would think really hard on that one because
but last year's guys, I got 4 of the 5 first-round quarterbacks from last year over Matt Ryan.
4 of the 5.
Yeah.
Of course you. So everybody but Lamar Jackson.
Everybody but Lamar Jackson.
Oh wow.
That's correct.
Now,
so you want me to read out my list, maybe?
Yeah. Let me just throw this out real quick about Jake Fromm. Let's say you were, you had the choice. Matt Ryan is there with his deal. He's going to want at least $30 million a year to go to your franchise.
Yeah.
But you're looking at the draft, and Jake Fromm is in your slot. You say Tua is going to be gone by then, and
Justin Herbert.
Yeah, Justin Herbert will probably be gone in the top 5 picks, I would imagine. So let's say Jake Fromm is there, and of course, free agency happens before the draft. But let's say you're looking at it, and you're like, I can take Jake Fromm in the draft. Or I can sign Matt Ryan right now.
I'll sign Matt Ryan.
Okay.
I think you have a very similar effect on Jake Fromm as Matt Ryan, which is overestimating Georgia people.
Oh, come on now. You saying I'm a homer?
Yes, you're a homer.
Yeah,
very much so.
I'm a homer.
Very, very much so. I fall victim to that as well, to some degree.
Yeah.
But I try to keep it objective. And Matt Ryan, to me, is a perfectly average NFL quarterback.
Perfectly average.
Perfectly average. Give it 2 more years. And he's going to be the Andy Dalton of 2012.
No, dude. Yeah. Take that back right now. No.
Give it 2 more years of him getting just a bit worse.
No.
And people getting just a bit better.
He still has an MVP season left in him.
He's going to be number 16. That's way more... Yeah, he's gonna be right there, smack bang in the middle. Way more likely than him having an MVP season.
Man,
I
wish you were here.
Kyle Shanahan had a coach of the year season there. Julio Jones had an MVP season. Of course, he had an MVP season.
Yeah,
but Cam Newton had.
Man, have you looked at his comparable stats to Aaron Rodgers throughout his career?
Mm-hmm.
He is actually ahead of Aaron Rodgers in many categories. I didn't pull up all the stats to be completely specific on it, but he has had a comparable career. Minus the ring, he almost had it, but he has had a comparable career to Aaron Rodgers.
Those are Julio Jones and a Tony Gonzalez and a Kyle Shanahan. Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman tandem. Who's Aaron Rodgers had? Aaron Rodgers been playing with He's been playing with the University of Wisconsin for the last 10 years.
Devontae Adams.
All right, yeah, Devontae Adams is a decent player. Jordy Nelson was fine. Defense, offensive line. Yeah, Randall Cobb, Mohamed Sanu.
Yeah.
Sort of territory. Aaron Rodgers is a different level.
Now,
I'm
not gonna compare Eddie Lacy to Devontae Freeman.
Yeah.
But what would you think there?
What? Lacey Freeman?
Yeah, Lacy or Freeman?
Freeman.
Now
I'll take the guy who can run a sub 550 at this point.
I agree with you. I mean, I wanted to throw out some running back. I mean, Ty Montgomery.
Tough to come up with one, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't have one. All right, let me give you my entire list there.
Okay.
I'm gonna name to you first the people I have over Matt Ryan. Okay.
Okay.
And if it's something very egregious to you, we can talk about that. Sam Darnold. I sorted them by division. Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, Andrew Luck, Phillip Rivers, Patrick Mahomes, Carson Wentz, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Cam Newton, Russell Wilson, Jared Goff, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I said Drew Brees. I'd rather have 2 years of Brees than 5 years of Ryan.
Oh,
tough.
Jesus.
Yeah, it hurts, but yeah, the truth hurts. That's how it is.
This is hideous.
Who is more likely to win an MVP? Drew Brees or Matt Ryan?
At this point, Matt Ryan.
Come on, man. You know that's not true. You know that's not true.
Last year of Peyton territory.
You know that Drew Brees was basically winning the MVP for the most part last year. And had it not been for Patrick Mahomes being sensational, to say the least, he would have won it. And you know Drew Brees is going to be a top 5 quarterback next year.
A top 5?
And you know Matt Ryan will probably not be one.
That's like saying Tom Brady's going to be a top 5 this year.
Is it really like saying that?
I think so. I mean, yes, he's great. He's been great his whole career. And I have no idea why the Chargers decided he wasn't great. But as much as I hate the Saints, I will agree, Drew Brees is a phenomenal quarterback. And
phenomenal.
He belongs in that Tom Brady category.
Top 10 all time.
Right now, at 40 years old, I'm telling you right now, I'll put a bet on it. Matt Ryan has a better a better season than Drew Brees.
Next year?
Yes.
What are we betting on? I'm down.
Oh, that's good, man. What do you think the stakes should be?
First time the both trash talkers meet up, loser pays the flight tickets.
Woo-hoo-hoo, that's a big one.
How about it? I'm putting JJ's money on the line. That's what I do best.
But okay, that depends on which continent we're meeting on.
Yeah, that's right. What's a good bet? Let's think about that. But we'll make that happen by the end of the show. That's a bet. Yeah, virtual handshake.
Yes.
Drew Brees having a better season than Matt Ryan.
Yes.
Next year is my call.
I'm not talking about rings or playoff runs. I'm talking statistics.
We're talking statistics. We're talking wins and losses. We're talking MVP rating.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be very close.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that. So
I wouldn't say it's not gonna be very close, but
I'm fairly confident here. I'm gonna give you my under list too, though, so you can have some satisfaction. These players, I would rather have Matt Ryan for a new franchise starting up right now. Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, Lamar Jackson, Andy Dalton, Marcus Mariota, Nick Foles, Joe Flacco, Derek Carr, very slightly, Case Keenum, Dak Prescott, Eli Manning, Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, Mitch Trubisky, Jameis Winston, Kyler Murray. Notice notable ones there, probably Dak Prescott. A lot of people will take him over. I think he's overrated as hell.
Really?
Yep. Dak Prescott is nothing but average as a quarterback, as a player. Yep.
I thought that for the first 3 seasons, but I have actually warmed up to Dak Prescott lately.
Well, he had a breakout showing, but what has he done since? I mean, the Cowboys are very, very much a stacked team. Dak Prescott is nowhere near top 10 territory, and a lot of people like to rate him so highly, talk so much about him because he's the quarterback of the Cowboys. Yada yada yada.
I do think he's outside of the top 10, but not that far, really.
So Kirk Cousins also an interesting one. I mean, you could make an argument to pick Cousins over Matt Ryan. I think they're pretty close. I like Matt Ryan's consistency better, honestly, and the age difference isn't significant enough to me, and Kirk Cousins doesn't have a high enough ceiling. I like people like Goff and Garoppolo, Patrick Mahomes obviously have to justify picking him over Matt Ryan, so I'll take Ryan over him. Nick Foles is also an interesting one. He's okay. He's just like 90%, 80-90% of Matt Ryan. Just a less proven Matt Ryan who's never going to be much better than Matt Ryan. So he's also on the down. Kind of a bit of shade on that quarterback class there. Mariota and Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
I both have pretty much given up hope on. They were really hyped.
No, they were, and I don't think I've quite given up on Jameis. I mean, it's really tough because he has had some horrible showings.
I've given up on him more than I have Marcus Mariota.
Really? I think Mariota, you know what? His first game as a rookie, I thought he was the next. I'm trying to think who to compare him to because he's kind of mobile, you know. Definitely was in college. Yeah, probably so. But of course, I can't say that now because he has fallen horribly.
So are we having another better season next year?
No. Russell Wilson is going to have a much better season than Mariota.
No. Winston or Mariota?
Oh, Winston or Mariota?
Yeah, I'll take Mariota.
I'll take Jameis.
Oh, for sure. Okay, we have another one. I'm writing these down after,
right.
And we'll come up with conditions and we'll announce all that stuff next week.
Oh man,
we should do it. You know how Skip and Shannon do it. They just bet for Mountain Dew and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We should make something like that happen. We'll just keep count and like at some point we'll just pay stuff off. We can make that stuff happen.
Oh, we could also do golf and wins
next year. Mm-hmm. I'm not taking bets on that right now.
No,
I'm not taking bets on that. Who would want to start my franchise? Carson Wentz. Injuries, man. I'm not taking too many bets on that. I know Goff is potentially this is a very good situation with Sean McVay. We've seen that Goff has last season operated at his maximum potential in my opinion. And Carson Wentz's max potential is higher. He can have MVP seasons just by being that good of a player. And Jared Goff can be gotten close to there, kind of like Matt Ryan was, just saying, by phenomenal coaching, record-breaking offensive system and support.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, if you're going to throw out the weapons argument for Matt Ryan, I'm going to throw out the weapons argument for Jared Goff.
Oh, yeah. Jared Goff, to me, very much is Matt Ryan, a younger Matt Ryan. Mm-hmm. He's good enough.
I think Matt Ryan's
okay.
Okay.
Not that they could beat the Patriots defense in Super Bowls, but they're okay.
That is a sore subject here, man.
I mean, listen. If you want to do anything, if you don't make it happen, you gotta go by Mr. Bill Belichick.
Hey,
you just have to.
Let's go by whether you like him or not. Seasons. Matt Ryan's rookie season, he went to the playoffs. What did Jared Goff do in his rookie season?
Look at Jeff Fisher and be like, what are you doing?
I don't know. Crapped the bed,
not
didn't
much.
He?
Yeah, not much of anything. So is a quarterback ever evaluated by his rookie season? Like what position other than tight end takes the most time to develop into an NFL player?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, we've seen the Ben Roethlisbergers and the Matt Ryans have great
of course, seasons. We've seen the breakout ones. We've seen people have great rookie years and then be bad after. We've seen people have terrible rookie years and be great after. It happens, both of them.
Well, you think Baker Mayfield's going to be horrible this year?
No, I think it's going to be good. How can you even fail? Have you seen the Browns? How can you fail?
I know. That team is stacked.
The Browns are stacked.
They are weapons.
Stacked. If Baker Mayfield, all he has to be is Matt Ryan in the future. That's his peak needs to be Matt Ryan, and they're going to be contenders because the team is stacked enough for it.
I will agree.
The offense is potentially the strongest in terms of weapons. So I like this, by the way. When Baker Mayfield came out of the draft, I had a lot of criticism. I said his ability isn't on the level as Darnold. His safety isn't on the level as Josh Rosen. He's not that kind of technician.
But his balls are on another level.
He can play quarterback. He can manage a game for you.
And he is not afraid to take
that's what he needs to do. Correct. And if you play the right team around him, he's not going to be Aaron Rodgers. All right?
Yeah.
If you want to take a shot at getting Aaron Rodgers, you pick Sam Darnold. But if you want your Matt Ryan, your Tom Brady, the guy who can, under the right circumstances, be all you need, and that seems to be the circumstances that they're creating right now, which good on them. I think Baker Mayfield can flourish in that system. he's surrounded by so much talent. I think he's gonna be very good.
I threw this out on Twitter at one point. I was thinking, if you're gonna say this was after all the signings and the Browns team was pretty much finalized, I think I said it before the draft, but even so, after the draft, if you're gonna throw out the weapons argument and say that Matt Ryan's career is not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not actually that he's just overrated in a sense because of his weapons, then we cannot count anything that Baker Mayfield is going to do in the next 3 years.
Well, I don't think Matt Ryan is overrated. I think he's pretty much rated fine. He's rated okay. He's had one A season and like a lot of B and B plus seasons.
Yeah, you think he's not overrated because you think he's not elite.
No, he's not. He is not elite.
He is. He may be at the bottom of the 1B tier, but he's definitely in the elite category.
If he's elite, then 15 players are elite. I mean, how far are we going to stretch elite is the thing. We should find a cap on how we define elite. Let's say elite at any given time is just the top 7 players, top 7 quarterbacks in the NFL are elite, and the rest below that, no matter how good they are, if there's 8 Aaron Rodgers in the league or 7 Aaron Rodgers in the league, then the next best guy is not elite.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there are 7 Aaron Rodgers in the league right now?
I know there's 7 better quarterbacks than Matt Ryan, as a matter of fact, and I think there's like 14. Okay, 7 quarterbacks better than Matt Ryan right now.
I would say
Russell Wilson, Andrew Luck, Patrick Mahomes, Carson Wentz, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. Probably Phillip Rivers. So,
boo! I'm taking
for sure.
I am taking your list and striking Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers off that. No, I love Phillip Rivers.
We
I
have
love
that.
Phillip Rivers.
We have
That's hard
that.
to say.
But like the right now thing, like better quarterback right now. Matt Ryan is not a top 10 guy. He's not.
Oh, not a top. Come on. I was gonna say 7 or 8, man. Not a top 10.
Listen, if I'm taking all the young guys out, right? Because if I had to start a football game tomorrow and I had to, pick who's my starting quarterback, I'll pick Matt Ryan over Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, Mayfield, Darnold.
Yeah, let's
maybe,
say the Goff Wentz class and back.
All right. So the rookies fall out. Obviously, I guess Deshaun Watson's also out there. And I mean, I'll still take Patrick Mahomes. So even though he hasn't been league that much, I'll take Patrick Mahomes over almost anyone. He's a top 5 guy. I'll take Cam Newton.
Do you not see? Man, with his shoulder
I'll take
right
Cam
now,
Newton. Yeah, I'll take Cam Newton.
And his wild inaccuracy. Now, I'll admit, I love watching. I love watching him play because he's a phenomenal athlete, and it's fun seeing a linebacker play quarterback. But
exactly, and he's had the MVP season too.
Yeah,
he has a ceiling to prove it.
Guess who was the only team to beat him in the regular season that year?
Since you know that, I'm assuming it's the Falcons.
Yes.
Right, they were pretty good though. They were pretty good.
Oh yeah.
And then he lost to Peyton in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, zombie Peyton
in bad fashion. Mm-hmm. But it's defense in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, everybody was screaming defense wins championships that year.
When's the last time that defense did not, except for Philadelphia last year? When's the last time defense did not win the Super Bowl?
I would say the Patriots didn't have a great defense last season.
The Patriots had a phenomenal defense. Patriots playoff defense is the best playoff defense in NFL history.
Playoff defense, but not regular season.
Best. Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll give you that. They always find a way, like no matter how horrible. Yeah. Because 2 seasons ago, of course, they lost to the Eagles, but their defense was pretty wretched throughout the regular season.
It was okay. It gets better. It gets better throughout the season. That's the huge thing about the Patriots. They get better every single week, specifically their defense, and they start showing up.
It was not very great in the Super Bowl that year. I mean,
against the Eagles.
I mean, how many yards? I don't
I
have
mean,
the
no,
stats in front of me, but
a
how many
lot.
yards?
It was. I mean, it was a record-setting game. That was
Nick
an offensive
Foles?
shootout.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Doug Peterson, great play caller. He was the one guy who outcoached, or I want to say outcoached, but who with his offense beat the Patriots defense, which is a rare occurrence. That doesn't happen.
It was quite fun watching Tom Brady fumble that ball.
Yeah, that was cool. I will admit I was rooting for the Eagles in that game.
Of course. Especially following the season before that, I had to root for the Eagles.
Right, yeah. That makes sense, I guess. But for me, actually, I don't know. The Patriots have never done anything to me personally, or the 49ers. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, all they've done is I think, kind of good. They given us Garoppolo for basically for free.
Oh, yeah, they helped you guys out big time. I think that was all Tom Brady saying, I don't want this guy behind me because there's a chance he's going to take my job.
Believe. Oh, you best believe it was. Because Bill Belichick. That's a different topic, by the way. The New England situation, the Belichick-Brady dynamic. That's exactly what was going on behind closed doors. Because Tom Brady is Robert Kraft's favorite son. He's his favorite adopted kid. Yeah. I'm not trading that guy. That was the first time in 20 years that Robert Kraft went to Bill Belichick and said, you're not doing this. Because Bill Belichick, he's getting rid of Tom Brady at age 40.
Oh, yeah.
He is. I got Jimmy Garoppolo, got Jacoby Brissett. You got to go. Everyone. Doesn't matter who you are. He doesn't care about names. Because about performance. Yeah, veterans go. Every veteran goes a year.
Any other owner. And Garoppolo would be the starting quarterback right now.
Exactly. Every veteran needs to go a year before they expire.
Yeah.
Vince Wilfork, Laurie Malloy, very much. That's fun fact. Very much a parallel to how Bill Walsh used to handle stuff back then. Yeah, big decisions too. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole Matt Ryan thing. We're gonna set up some bets. I think I can make some easy profit off of you there, but I think you also believe the same. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure not to bet on the 49ers because that's the trap. I might overestimate them, but we can also talk about that at some point. For now, I'm gonna leave the floor to you for a little bit because you're gonna talk about what you talk about best, which is fantasy football. No, I have not dealt with fantasy football as much this year. I'm a regular player. I'm gonna be playing several leagues, but I'm usually starting to get into it when training camp starts. So I'm not an all-around, all-year kind of guy, but you have your best ball breakdowns. Please share the knowledge with the people who need the knowledge.
Yeah, and that's just it. If you are looking to play, and even if you're if you're just starting to play fantasy football, best ball is the best way to get into it. Now, what best ball is probably the easiest way to learn to draft, because all you want out of a best ball player is the high upside. Boom or bust is perfect for best ball. What best ball is you're going to draft 18 players on average. Depending on your league, it could differ. But you're going to draft your 18 players. And out of those 18 players, all you need to start each week is 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and a tight end. And you can overdraft. You can pick up 3 quarterbacks just to make sure, because each week once you play, your lineup will automatically choose its best players and put those in your lineup at the end of the week. So basically, when your week is done, your best players out of your lineup are your starting lineup. It's almost like in reverse. You could go, if you were playing in a regular redraft league, you're gonna pick your teams ahead of time, and you're gonna hope that you pick the correct lineup. But with this, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to set your lineup at all. It picks them for you, and it's all automated. So it is the best way to learn to draft. Now, people do make that mistake a lot when they are just learning to play fantasy. They pick these, I've seen this guy go off for 4 touchdowns in a game. But, you're usually not averaging in his bad games either, which you need in a redraft league. But in best ball, you don't have to worry about that. It's going to pick them for you. So you could pick 3 boom or bust quarterbacks, and your best boom for the week is going to be in your starting lineup. And it's kind of a cross between daily fantasy. You ever play daily fantasy?
No, I did not.
Oh, I love daily fantasy. I like DraftKings and FanDuel, all that. I play best ball on Draft, which is a subsidiary of FanDuel, and you can put $1 down, you could put $25 down, and you play in a 10 team, 12 team, whatever the parameters are. You can go through and pick which league you want to be in and how many players are in that league. Like, you get a 6-team league, you know that every player you have is going to be a superstar. You can pick all number ones if you're going for that low. It's really easy to learn to draft that way.
So for me, the only thing it's been so far in terms of fantasy experience is really getting together with a couple friends, private hosted league, like 10 teams. We'll have like 1 or 2, maybe a PPR, a standard league, and that's been it so far. So no dynasties, carryover leagues or live like daily drafts, week to week things. I haven't played competitively. I haven't played it for money or the fan duels. But I mean, the basketball thing definitely sounds interesting.
See,
the boomer bust, I kind of like.
That's exactly, because you can throw your Ryan Fitzpatrick in there because when he's starting, he's either going to throw 4 touchdowns or 4 interceptions. You can have him in your lineup when he throws.
And if he throws interceptions,
then you'll
not
have
a problem.
Jameis in there or whoever it may be. That's
who drafts Winston and Fitzpatrick.
Yes,
in fantasy.
Exactly. You can do that with best ball. Now, you could do that with a redraft league too, but then you run the risk of both of them stinking up the field. The thing about best ball is when you. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there because my paper just fell. But basically, the best ball is the best way to learn to draft because of that exact reason. Is you don't have to worry about it. Now, you don't have to search the waiver wire. You can play best ball for an entire season. You can play best ball for 1 week. I love season-long leagues, so this, and you can draft all season long. That's the good thing is. You could draft before the NFL draft, and you don't know where these players, what teams they're going to.
So I could be drafting. Say I could draft Josh Jacobs before the draft.
Yes, you could. On that point, has he signed his deal yet? Have you heard lately?
I'm not very up on Raiders news. I think most people have. I know that the 49ers still haven't signed a bunch of people, but I think when training camp comes around, pretty much everyone should have.
And that's a really good pick because you don't really know what Josh Jacobs is going to do and how well the running game is going to be there in Oakland. But you can.
But if I have a pretty good idea that he's going to go to the Raiders and that if he does, he's going to be a starter.
Yes.
Seems like a value pick.
Yeah, and even if he's a bust, you've got a good 4 or 5 other running backs that are going to take his place, so you don't have to worry about it. That's the problem with drafting early. People like to wait until, second preseason game, third preseason game to draft because you could still accrue injuries before your season starts. With this, you don't have to worry about it. And everybody's playing on a level playing field because when you're drafting before the draft or before preseason, if there's an injury, you just chalk it up because no one else knew either when you were drafting. So
that's the thing that happened to me once. The first year I ever played fantasy football. I don't know if I told you this in the story in private, but the first year I ever played fantasy football, I believe, 4 years ago, I picked Adrian Peterson with the first overall pick, and I was happy, and this was great. And it was the year where he got hurt and suspended and hurt again, and I had nothing.
Was that the Sam Bradford year?
It might have been. Yeah, I think it was the Sam Bradford year.
Yeah, I think it was like the last preseason game or whatever. He tore his MCL.
Yeah, it was when he was still the Vikings AP.
Yeah.
His last decent year.
Mm-hmm. I had him in one of my leagues.
That was tragic.
As well. And it's horrible. It's horrible. Tragic. You just draft the guy, and before the season even starts, he's out.
So let's talk. So let's quickly just inquire about regular leagues, regular fantasy leagues.
Okay.
Are you like a running back first by any means, or would you take like a Julio Jones AB at like 5 or 6 if that's the best value for you?
I am not a running back first unless especially this year. Let's look at it this year. If you're in the first 6 picks, you're lucky to draw top 6. Yeah, it's best to go with a running back because you have Zeke there, you have Kamara there, you have David Johnson, you have Melvin Gordon. And for some reason Todd Gurley has dropped out due to the.
But you got Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell, see, I'm up in the air about that one this season. Any other season, he went in the first round last season and never even played.
And I picked him and I got burned.
Oh, yeah. See, if I'm doing a regular season-long draft, I stay away from guys that are up in the air at the time of draft.
Yeah, it's tough. I like to take a gamble sometimes, but if I'm very early, I mean you gotta pick a running back. I'm not gonna pick Julio Jones at 2, even though I really want to, and sometimes it might be valuable.
Mm-hmm.
I think the kind of the center to end sort of drafts. Let's talk about like 12 or 14 team leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Around the 7 or 8 drafts, but it's pretty much perfect because if you have that running back that you were looking at specifically still on the board, that the people maybe reached for receivers or Gronk last year over, then you still get your value. And if not, then you just get the best receiver in the draft, which is always good, and you rotate running backs. So you go flexible there.
It's a thing right now. People are so running back crazy that it comes down to you're picking 9, 10 in your league, and you're looking at all the top 6 running backs are gone, top 7. You're looking at James Conner or Julio Jones. What would you do in that situation?
I'll pick Julio Jones.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
I would take Julio all day. Now, if it came down to Juju or Conner, maybe there's a decision to be made there. But I'm taking Devontae Adams. I'm taking DeAndre Hopkins over Conner.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
I'll
take 5, 6 receivers over Conner.
And you got to kind of have nerves of steel because when you're sitting there drafting and you're late in the round and you're seeing all these running backs fly off the board, you're like, oh my God, I got to get a running back now or else I'm going to be out. But think about the production. Why take a running back that's going to give you 18 points a game when you could go ahead and take your first wide receiver that's going to give you 25, 27 points a game?
Exactly. And then play the market.
Exactly.
Because people are going to be coming back to those other positions later. So how's your this one final thought maybe, unless you have more specific news to go over at this point. How's your general strategy on quarterbacks? How do you deal? Because there's kind of like there's 2 camps really. There's the I'm getting Rodgers, Wilson, or Luck in the first 3 rounds, and I'm reaching. Mahomes. And there's the Mahomes too. Speaking historically, it's kind of been those 3 names, but yeah, Patrick Mahomes for sure. And there's the other side, who basically just say, I don't concern myself with drafting a quarterback. I might not even draft one at all. And if I do, I'll draft one in like round 11, and it's gonna be like a Phillip Rivers or Drew Brees or whatever. And I'm gonna basically stream quarterbacks in the waiver wire week to week because you can always find a good quarterback matchup.
That's true. Like we've been talking about in previous episodes, there are so many great starting quarterbacks, especially for fantasy, in this league right now that. There is no reason.
With quarterbacks, I feel like it's more of a matchup thing than anything else.
Mm-hmm. I put quarterbacks down there with tight ends. Like, there's no reason to take a Kelsey, Ertz, or Kittle when you could be drafting your, let's see, Kelsey is going at the end of the first round. You could get Devontae Adams. Yeah. And there's always a tight end breakout. But as far as quarterbacks specifically, while you're watching other people take Mahomes, you're watching them take even Drew Brees, goes early for quarterbacks. He's in the top 10. I wait. I'm loading up my receivers because you're going to have to play 2 to 3 every week. You only have to play one quarterback. And
that's what
you can get the production. Too. So while we're late in the draft and everybody's loaded up on their quarterbacks, I'm over here taking receivers that are going to give me the same amount of production early, and everybody's loaded up on quarterbacks. I'll start taking quarterbacks while they're drafting third string wide receivers.
Or it might not even take a quarterback at all, depending on how many teams we got in the league.
For sure.
If you're looking at 12 to 14 teams maximum, you'll have a selection of guys like Trubisky, Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen on a weekly basis, and you just pick who you like. I remember specifically doing the thing. I think 3 years ago it was 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't draft a quarterback at all, I think, and for the most part I would literally every single week pick up and start the quarterback that was playing the Browns that week.
Good idea.
And that worked. It just worked back then. So I'm not going to do it this time because their defense is good.
But Matt Stafford is intriguing right now because he had such a bad season last season, which in fantasy gives me the idea that he's in for a positive regression and he's going to rebound this season. So while he's
always good in the first 3 games.
Yeah, so why would you not wait until round 13, 14, maybe even the last round, depending on your kicker and defense situations, which, oh man, I see every year. Let's talk about defense. I see every year, the Jaguars were really big in 17, so last season, somebody's in the 6th round, like, I got to get the Jags. Bad idea.
Gotta get a defense.
Bad idea.
Terrible. Yeah, I've played with those people too.
And I see people in the 11th round like, oh, Gostkowski, that's the most productive kicker. I gotta have him. Like, no, you could have took Matt Bryant off the waiver wire and put up the same points.
Exactly.
But yeah, as far as quarterbacks, wait on your quarterbacks. Now, if you're in a unexperienced league, you will see often people drafting 2 quarterbacks because they're scared, basically. They're scared of not getting production. And in that situation,
I've had people try to handcuff their quarterback. They pick a quarterback and their backup.
Oh, Jesus.
And they spend draft picks on it.
Wow, you really saw in real life you saw that.
Yeah, in real life. Those people were playing their first season.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, yeah. And I'm not going to hate on anyone because I work with a lot with first-timers in fantasy football. And I understand the thought process. I mean, I played for my first time at one point too, and it was a horrible season. And that's when I figured I better learn the cheat codes or I'm gonna suck at this.
So that's why I like the best ball recommendation though. It sounds like a very good introduction point for people to get confronted with that and play for the first time without being overwhelmed, without having to crunch all sorts of numbers weeks and weeks and weeks before sitting down and making a draft happen.
Exactly.
Because it is quite a bit of work if you're playing specifically expert leagues or larger leagues that are full season. So definitely seems like a good idea. If you want to, in future podcasts, we can make this topic happen more often as we get closer to the NFL season. Of course, we'll have implications on fantasy football of the real life events that we'll be covering anyway. And once it gets into draft season, we're hitting late July, and August is coming up, and we're getting to training camp. We can make a weekly report on your player stock and your evaluation.
Yes.
So I think people will appreciate that a lot, hearing from an expert. But I think we've covered pretty much all I wanted to for this podcast. Again, thank you for showing up, Smoke. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Been great.
We're setting up these bets. I'm not letting you off the hook on this one.
Oh, I'm not letting you off the hook on this one.
Okay. Okay. I like that attitude. I like that attitude. That's great. It's like the bigger fish eats smaller fish, but there's a bigger fish there. That sort of thing. I feel like that's how I'm looking at it.
Remember, right now, Drew Brees is 40.
Yeah.
Just keep that in your mind all season.
Yeah. Remember, Tom Brady's 42.
Yeah. Well, where is his production right now?
Good enough.
I like it though.
Basically,
I like it.
Well, a little better than Matt Ryan, just a slight bit better.
Come on now.
A slight bit.
Oh, do we need to pull up stats from last season?
I know that. I know Tom Brady's overrated. I get it, but he's good enough.
He's a game
that's what he is. He's good enough. Yeah, he's good enough, and that's what Matt Ryan is. But Matt Ryan doesn't have the team.
Boo. I don't like your takes.
If Matt Ryan was on Tom Brady's Patriots for the same 21 years, he'd win 2 or 3 Super Bowls.
He
for
would
sure.
win 8 Super Bowls, son.
He'd win 2 or 3. If Aaron Rodgers was there, he'd win 12.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
But Matt Ryan, 2 or 3, I can see it.
I can see 8.
Maybe 4. I cannot see 8. I am not.
We're gonna have to break out the Madden. So we're gonna
have to stop this. But we're setting this bet up, and you best believe next podcast we're agreeing to some official stuff here. So yeah, thanks for being here. It was a good show, and hopefully we'll set it up next week as well with some more news. We're looking probably to cover some more breakout positions again, which of course relates to fantasy and some of the deeper sleepers that you come up with for next season. I want to mention this one thing real quick because you brought him up. Last year, I think the one pick that really won me the main league we played was I got George Kittle in round number 19.
Yes.
I think that was pretty good. That was some insight combined with some homerism, but it worked out for the better. So thank you everyone for listening to this podcast. If you're on my channel Beyond Football, go check out the Trash Talkers. Smokey along with his buddy Hollywood. They're producing a variety of stuff. I think if you want to just plug yourself real quick, just let us know what kind of stuff you are about, but definitely go check it out.
Yeah, we are the Trash Talkers. I am one half of the Trash Talkers. Myself, Smokey Rameriz, Larry Cowan, and my buddy Hollywood Behringer 6. I think I said that out of order, but me and Hollywood, we do a collection of different topics, and we range from comedy to esoterics to current events. We do a podcast each week. We do reaction videos from time to time. We do stories, road stories, horror stories. We talk about our past lives. Well, not our past lives, but our past in our lives. And it's a fun time. Definitely, the links will be down below, so I'm not going to read it out like I usually do, because I am reminded every time that the links are down below. So look down below.
The links are down below, exactly. No one types out URLs anymore. It's 2019 bro. Just kidding. I'm old school. Go check them out.
Old school, man.
Go check them out.
Yes, definitely.
And if you don't know that yet, I also have a gaming channel together with another friend of mine. It's called Trash Can TV. It's also linked below, and we actually have collaborated with the Trash Talkers on several occasions, and will do that again soon on collaborative podcasts, which are like the most fun thing in the universe. So definitely go check that out if you like it, and be sure to subscribe to Beyond Football and the Trash Talkers for the Scoreboard podcast, hopefully on a weekly basis. It's a lot of fun to make this happen, and I'm thinking next week should be another good show. So thank you everyone for watching. Leave a like on this video, and hop over to the corresponding channel as well. And I'm gonna see you in the future again soon.
Yes, sir.